Hearts of Stone by Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. A 1978 album I bought in a 4 for £10 deal at the Sound Machine in Reading. I was a big fan of Bruce Springsteen's songwriting in the late 1970s. Not just the wildly innocent Born to Run and Darkness on the Edge of Town albums, but also the songs he did not release, but he let be covered by Patti Smith, the Pointer Sisters, Gary U.S. Bonds, Dave Edmunds, Clarence Clemens, and especially Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. It seems like he gave all these songs away and then he seemed to run out of steam a bit on the river. Then we got Born in the USA, which has songs I actually dislike. And I would struggle to fill a CD with favourite Springsteen songs from the 80s onwards. I am not that keen on Springsteen's first album, but he gave just about his best song from that era to Southside Johnny. That song is Fever, which eventually turned up on Springsteen's Tracks album, but it was a highlight of the first Asbury Jukes album. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes were pretty much a Steve Van Zandt project. Van Zandt and Southside, whose real name is John Lyon, and Bruce Springsteen were friends from their early days in New Jersey. There is a documentary about Steve Van Zandt on Sky, and it has clips of Bruce, Steve and Johnny playing with the Asbury Jukes, and absolutely loving it. Steve Van Zandt joined Springsteen's E Street Band after the release of Born to Run, but he is credited with the horn arrangement on 10th Avenue Freeze Out. There is a story that Bruce booked a horn section but no one knew what to do with them till Steve happened to drop in. Bruce has many stories about him and Steve as the Asbury Park Likely Lads, but it is more likely that Steve was well known for writing great horn parts from his work with the Asbury Jukes. His work on 10th Avenue Freeze Out allowed him to get studio time and a record deal for Southside Johnny. He also managed, produced and wrote most of the songs for the Asbury Jukes while he was playing with Bruce Springsteen. About the time of Born to Run, I would see music press articles that gave the Asbury Jukes and the E Street Band comparable status in an Asbury Park, New Jersey, Merseybeat type scene. The Asbury Jukes were very much trying to be a big soul band in the style of James Brown, with Sam Cooke, Sam and Dave and Drifters vocal cadences, and with Motown bass lines, Stax horns, Phil Spector drum beats, and Little Richard big band rock and roll energy. In places they could sound a bit like Chicago or Blood, Sweat and Tears, stripped of all that jazz. The title song is solely credited to Springsteen and is one of his best. Van Zandt plays a very simple melodic guitar that complements Johnny's powerful vocal, which I think beats the Springsteen version that was also finally released on the Tracks album. Springsteen also wrote Talk to Me, which is another song that is much better than much of his later work, and was finally released on The Promise. There is one song co-written by Bruce, Steve and Southside Johnny, and the rest are all solely written by Steve Van Zandt. As well as being in the E Street Band, Steve Van Zandt also had his own band, the Disciples of Soul, who were like a punk-influenced Asbury Jukes. Many of the songs on the first Little Steven album were songs that were not used on this album. Southside Johnny went on to make many more albums, including an excellent live album called Reach Up and Touch the Sky, which I also have. I also saw them performing live at the Venue in Victoria in the early 80s. However, Hearts of Stone was Steve Van Zandt's last Asbury Jukes album until the Southside Springsteen and Van Zandt trio were reunited in 1991 for the Better Days album, which was very much a return to form, and I found the CD in Oxfam in Henley. Hearts of Stone, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.